Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. This video will be going through the Gold Coast team preview for AFL Fantasy for the 2023 AFL season. Remember to like and subscribe as more content will be coming out, as more team reveals will be coming out, and team previews for this upcoming season as the preseason comes closer and around the time when AFL practice matches, the official practice matches are going on, we'll take a look at them and take a look at players that are doing well in preseason. So now on to the team, and so I've done the usual of highlighting key players, and we'll go through them. Tuke Miller, again, he's sitting at 110, which is a heavy price to pay, but this could be his Brownlow year. I think him and Bont are pretty close to being Bont and Oliver will be probably the best mids this year. He's looked really good in preseason. If you look at his 2022 stats, he's really consistent. I mean, he had this rough patch to start, but then his patch in the second half of the season when it really counted was really good. So maybe you look at bringing him in later on, but I think he will start this year better. And if we look at his 2023 fixtures, he does have a roughish start, but he doesn't have that run of games where you're like, oh, I need to pick him up for, which the likes of Essendon do. But I think he's still a very good pick. I think he will at least hold value here. I don't think he drops down like some other players. Next is Noah Anderson. I think just with the run of fixtures that they have compared to other players around the same value, I don't think he's as good a pick, but I don't see him dropping more lower than averaging low 90s here. So he's not going to be a bad pick. I just don't think he will be as good a pick as the likes of Tom Mitchell, who's a little bit cheaper, or even going a little bit more expensive and picking up the likes of Petrarca or Bontempelli. Jared Witts is a guy that if rookies are harder to come by in the 200k price basement region, and it's more of those top end rookies that are starting off, I think I'm going to go English to Witts, as Witts has had a full preseason. He's got a really good matchup in round one against the Swans, who have Hickey, who's not as good a ruckman. So Witts should get 40 or 50 hitouts there, which will be 40 or so points already. And you just got to get, and he'll get, outside of that, he'll get, if we look here, 40, if we look at the Swans game 99 here, he had, 4 free kicks, 2 tackles, 4 marks, and around 20 disposals. If he can put up something like that and just get 100 after 100, then it'll be good. I think he's a guy that will probably not bump up terribly much, but somewhere around that 95 to 100 region for him will be good. Next, Ellis, Anderson, Swallow, all these guys I don't think will gain much value as they've seen, as they're just not fantasy-friendly roles, I don't think. Raoul's another interesting one. Do you think he'll have his breakout year? I think it's just almost too poisonous to have him in your team in case he doesn't do well. Like he's shown for the last, 3 or so years, that he just is a 75 point per game scorer. So whether he can increase that, time will tell, but I just can't have him in my team. At the moment, I should say. Another few guys that I don't see breaking out, and then Elijah Holland is a guy odds on to go. Could he go 80 or so? He probably could. I just think at 551k, you're putting a lot up in the air just to basically have him hit at least 10 or 15 above his average of what he did last year, and he had a pretty good game to start, I believe it was. I believe he had a good game to start. Nope. Yeah, he had a 64-49, then a 118. So if you take out that 118, he's probably averaging in the 60s, high 60s or so. So will he improve by 10, 15, 20 points on top of that average of 60s. I don't think so. Next, you have Ben Long. He's come up from St Kilda. Whether he gets that better role or not is up in the air. As you can see me flicking through his year by years, they're just not good averages. Okay, now a lot of these guys also, you have Flanders, Ballard, Joel. A lot of these guys just are not fancy friendly. Maybe Rosas, but I don't think so. He has a good ceiling but a bad floor on him here. If you look at 2022, he had an 11. That was a lot of these games. He just hasn't got good time on ground, and he really needs to get goals for him to do really well in terms of fantasy. So he's not a good selection. A lot of these guys also, I just keep position players. Maybe Alex Davis takes the step up, but probably not. So you have nothing here. Then you get their rookies, Bailey Humphrey, a guy I probably might have in my team, as in on my bench for round 1. Maybe if Pedler or Sin doesn't get selected. Or maybe in place of like a Matthew Johnson or something. I do need some 200k players to play for me to do well. Then you have Tom Berry. He should get games and should probably be able to get an average of 50 or 60. So he's another alright pick. Then you have Connor Blakely, as I spoke about in one of my team reveals. If you look back on his 2019-18 form, he could return to some good numbers there. So maybe he's a good pick if he plays. I think he probably is a good pick if he does play. At 230k's, you can't really go wrong with him, but I don't think he'll return to those 90 numbers. I think he'll probably get in returns of like 60 or so basically like another rookie. And then not really much down here other than the 200k players. I've seen Sitsas in a couple of teams. I just don't think he plays. He's 27 years old as well. I think he just got put in a lot of teams just because he has got he did play one game last year and has got basement price. But other than that, I don't see him playing, as I don't believe he's played before that. Yeah, so that's my team preview for the Gold Coast Suns. Remember to like and subscribe and to watch the AFL Fantasy Team Reveals. There will be a playlist, and if you want to watch the AFL Fantasy team previews of the other teams that I've done, you can click up on the playlist. Thanks and goodbye.